Yeah, in continuation with the business series, we are going to discuss about the first strategy as a company. Once you decide, what you want to do, then your first strategy should be like, whether I'm going to talk about two important points. One on the type of project you are going to look at, and the second one is who is going to drive you, the driving force. So first look at the field on which you are going to work. Whether you are manufacturing, whether you are anything, you have to look at what these definitions mean. So the first definition is greenfield implementations, which means that you start the project, like you open up a company, you acquire a land, then you start building up something, like it can be even your domestically your house. For example, you try to acquire a land and then try to build a house for yourself, or it may be if you are sorry about that, if you're an end user, then it can be like first time you are trying to build a TV, first time you are trying to buy a mobile phone, first time you are trying to buy a laptop. It can be any of these things. The same way from the business perspective, first time they are trying to produce something. It can be a software, it can be any of these equipments, or any of those things. It can be even a factory. So the green field is that you are trying to do the whole thing first time. That means it did not exist before for you. Okay, it might exist now for the world, but for you it is the first time. That is greenfield, or greenfield project, or greenfield implementations, or greenfield usage. It can be you can attribute these words to greenfield any which way you want, based on who you are. The second thing is brownfield, which means that you already have something. You bought a land, you build a house as a greenfield, then you want to build one floor on top of that. Or you already have a mobile phone, then you are trying to buy some gadgets on top of that. Or you already have a TV, and now you are trying to buy a TV stand for that. Or you already have a kind of ERP software, for example, or a banking software, or healthcare software for your business, and then you want to integrate with somebody else, or you want to add something on top of whatever you already have, like you may do a bespoke application on top of that. So all these things now correspond to brownfield. Okay, in the brownfield, it need not be the same person who has given you the greenfield. So the contractor or the vendor for greenfield can be different. The contractor or the vendor for the brownfield can be somebody else. Like you buy a TV, and maybe you buy a remote from somebody else. Once it gets dropped, for example, you may use a contractor to build a house, but you can go for somebody else to build some other floor, or maybe something else you want to extend or rework upon, etc. This is not scrap. You have to remember that this is not scrap. The blue field is the third one. There is a confusion in the industry in terms of how to define that, but my take, or what I have been following for years, is that in case of a blue field, for example, I'll give you a scenario like this. You bought a TV and it was working. Now you decided to discard that TV and buy a new one, importantly from the same vendor, and it has to fulfill all the functionalities of the old TV, plus it has to give you some other better experience, or some more features, or some more ease of use. It can be some more delta. Okay, you can take it that way. But here in case of a factory, I could think of some, you have a lathe machine, you are trying to do a lathe or a machining operation using that lathe, and then you feel that this lathe is not good enough, and you want to throw that lathe out, try to bring a new CNC lathe for the same operations. Okay, then it is a blue field, preferably from the same vendor. Okay, that is the, in fact it is not preferable, it is actually, otherwise it is another project. You can take it that way. If the functionality is different, if it is not from the same vendor, you are actually scrapping the old one and buying a new one. Okay, so but in case of the blue field, what happens is that you have been using version 1.0 of the software from that vendor, but now that guy has now got into a different technology, and you are trying to throw away this 1.0, try to use that, but both cannot exist, coexist together at any point in time. You have to discard this and you have to go to that. But there are in the industry, there are different people have different thoughts, and it is getting mixed up. But this is how I take it. So as part of your business, where you are going to position, you are going to be in the green field or brown field or blue field business. Okay, so I'll give you one more example of a blue field just to illustrate. So you might develop your product with a software with a particular technology, and then you decide that that technology is no good. You are going to redevelop the same product, same software product, but not with the technology, with some other technology. Maybe from a server side to a client side, or client side to server side technology, but for the same product, or that plus some other features. So that is blue field. So back to that. So you now you are, where are you going to supply your products or your services to? That is the question. If you are going to be a supplier of for your customers who are in the green field, or is it on a brown field, or is it on a green field? So that you need to know upfront. Okay, once you know that, then you need to also know that for example, software, I can tell you one example. You see, some softwares you just download and install in Play Store, that is done. But if it is an enterprise class applications, like how you do your banking or your healthcare or ERP user, you will know that you cannot just like that download and start using it. Okay, so in the process of buying that is like you need to get a sign up with the OEM vendor, purchase or license that software for use, which requires implementation, and then if there is a problem, then you need to ask for a support. Like it can be even in the banking also, there is a lot of support operations. In your, for example, your TV, there will be a support center. All that is fine. So now there are three parts to that. There is a sale, there is an implementation which includes installation, commissioning, setting up, all that. Then there is a support. As part of your project design, or the company design with respect to that particular product or service delivery, you need to remember from where you are going to get your revenues. Is it from your license, or is it from your setup and installation, or if it is from your support? So there are three revenue areas within your product or service that is going to give you. So each one will have its own demerits and merits, and it will have an impact on your the life cycle of your product or services. Suppose you are trying to be a newcomer into the market, and you might require a partner who will go and do all these things, implementations and support. Then you will take the revenues only from your sales. But so the other two areas, you have to part your money with your partners or somebody or brokers. Whereas if you are well-known brand in the market, then you don't need the implementers or the middlemen. You can directly either implement for yourself, or you can try to avoid that implementation by making your product so robust that it doesn't require much of an implementation or much of a support, so that all the money which you are going to have will be yours in the form of license sales and maybe ready to use or do it yourself kind of a model you are going to offer. So that part you need to be absolutely clear how your revenues are going to come vis-a-vis how you are going to structure your companies and the product for that. The second point is that how you are going to do that, who is going to drive you, whether you are going to be driven by your product or services, or is customer going to drive you that, which means that let's take product. If you assume you are in the product business, like a TV or a ERP software or a banking software or a CNC machine seller, whether you are going to make a product driven sales, or in an opposite way, reverse way, is a sales driven product. If it is a product driven sales, then you are trying to imagine a lot of things. You have to make a lot of assumptions on now how your product is going to work, how your product is going to behave in the customer side, how your product is going to work at a different environments, like if it is in oil and gas, it may be under the water, or it may be in a hot sun, or in a very cold environment, or maybe with a rough use, or gentle use, and so on and so forth. That you have to assume quite a lot of things, and you have to make a conscious decision. For example, you buy a mobile phone, you buy a TV. The manufacturer of the TV or the mobile phone has never asked you, how you will be using it. He has already made quite a lot of assumptions in terms of your behaviors, how you use it, when you will use it, in case if you drop it, what will happen. All that he has, he was able to think through. That's where the creation really happens. Okay, I love to do that, and I would like everybody to get onto that space as well. And you have to make a lot of assumptions, and then you have to your branding will make a different it will require a different effort. How you announce your arrival, that is very different. On the other hand, if it is sales driven product, so somebody will go sell to a customer in the sense that, okay, I have something, maybe in terms of resources, or in terms of some offerings, can be a product, within quote product. Then the customer will say, no, I want all these things. Then you will start making this either again upfront, you will start all over, or whatever you have, you will try to mix and match the customer requirements, and try to make something out of that, and try to give. Okay, so so this is sales driven product. In the sales driven product, for example, if you are in a B2B space, in an automobile sector, for example, then the OEM who are going to sell the cars to the end users, that guy will predominantly decide how the market works, and in turn he is going to distribute that market share to say 2 or 3 vendors in each of their components. And your forecast is pretty much decided by your OEM, the vehicle manufacturer. So in this case, there are some standard designs, these standard inputs from government, the emission controls, etc. And then you are going to make tailor-made product to that particular customer. That means very difficult or very highly likely that this product, whatever you are going to give it to a customer A, will be useful for customer B as such. So again, you have to tinker it, you have to modify it, you have to fine tune it. So if you are in a software space, it requires again software development, maintenance of 2 different sources. Or if you are in a manufacturing field, then you need to have 2 different product lines. Or if you are going to use the same machine, then you need to have 2 different setups, which will take quite a long time to change setup from here to there. So that means your forecast for this customer and that customer, somebody has to align as part of the process planning. So to recap that, you need to know is this a product driven sales or sales driven product. So with this, 2 3 points, this is where the first strategy as a business starts. And hope you enjoyed this, and hope it is useful, and particularly in terms of knowledge. We'll see in the other videos on a slightly lesser duration. Of course, I'll try to do that, but each topic is quite intense, and I want you to learn or go through or acquire this knowledge as much you can. Thank you for watching. This is Gokul. See you in the next video. Bye.